Engine 11. Engine 11. This is Lieutenant Johnny Hampton getting around one last time. 25 years of service. Engine 11. Lieutenant Hampton, congratulations on your retirement after 25 years. It's your last call, buddy.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Hampton.
Miss you, Lieutenant Hampton. We love you, Johnny.
Talking to him later on, I scared the living bejesus out of him when I understand, because he thought I was dead. Let alone Engine 18 missed their turn when they got disregarded and hit the second turn and basically saw us come over and land. And he was right there on top of us calling a mayday to get us out and get the cavalry coming. And I thought he was in there when I asked this question. I said, hey, can I get a sheet to rest my head on? I thought this was way far into the whole process of getting me out. And he said, I guess it was pretty early because the two paramedics, Jeremy and Judd, were walking up, and all they heard was get a sheet, not knowing it was for me to rest my head on. And they're like, he can't be this far gone. What's going on? Yeah, those three guys walked away, and I've said this from day one. I'll take this on. You guys walked away. I can take this on. I'll be fine.
You're listening to the ATO Bridging the Divide podcast, brought to you by the Assist the Officer Foundation.
Since 1999, the ATO has given assistance to the first responder community, and now we want to give them a platform to hear their incredible stories.
We also want to hear the stories of the many people that support us.
Our community is small, but it is strong.
We have differences. We don't always agree, and we all make mistakes.
But together we can grow, we can heal,
And we can learn from those mistakes.
and together we can bridge the divide.
Forged in fire. Forged in fire is an idiom that signifies being strengthened or hardened through intense trials, struggles, and adversity. It implies that difficult experience, like the intense heat needed as a forged metal, can build resilience, character, and ultimately lead to a stronger, more defined outcome. Today's guest's story began in Maryland, growing up the son of a firefighter, learning discipline through sports and taking his unique natural leadership qualities to the historic 82nd Airborne. After an amazing military career, this guest joined the Dallas Fire Department in 2000 to continue his commitment to service. We will detail this man's life and career and talk about his recent retirement. In preparation for this episode, I spoke to several of his colleagues, and a common theme continued to surface: leadership. This is what one of his coworkers had to say about this guest. When I think of Lieutenant John Hampton, it's his lips that truly define him. Not the lips on his face, but the values these letters represent. L is for leadership. I for integrity. P for perseverance. S for service and sacrifice. Johnny's leadership qualities define him not just as an officer, but as a person. He leads by example, always the first to show up, the first to prepare, and the one you can count on in every situation. He exemplifies hard work, brings a positive attitude to every shift, and consistently demonstrates what it means to be prepared and perform at a high level. Integrity is the backbone of who Johnny is. On every call, every training, and every decision, he's earned the respect of every firefighter who's worked alongside him because of the trust he's built through his character and conduct. Perseverance is what carried Johnny through years of a demanding career, through long nights, back-to-back calls, personal challenges, and hardships. He never gave less than 100%. No matter the obstacle, he stayed the course and encouraged others to keep pushing. Always keeping focus. Always keeping focus on the task and placing the safety of his crew first. Service and sacrifice are at the core of Johnny's fire service journey. He put the needs of his crew, the citizens of Dallas, and his country before his own, time and time again. Whether it was serving in the United States Army or mentoring a new firefighter, he has proven to be strong in the toughest moments. Johnny gave his heart to this job. His sacrifice has left an impact that will ripple through this department for years to come. Love you, brother. Justin Lavorne, Engine 11C. We are honored to sit with Dallas Fire and Rescue Lieutenant Johnny Hampton. Johnny, thanks for coming on.
Sure. Happy to be here.
I want to welcome on co-host Kent. He's still here. He didn't run off yet.
Thank you for the welcome.
Yep. A few months ago, I think it's a few months ago, I saw a WFAA story with you, and you know, and I knew about the incident. We're going to get to the incident. We're going to dissect that whole event. But I watched the news story, and you know, I saw that maybe you had 3 minutes of talking, you know, and the news reporter did way more talking than you, and it's a typical news story. There's like a small snapshot of somebody's, you know, their critical incident or their worst day of their life. I saw that and I said, you know, there's much more to that man than 3 minutes in that particular event. So I wanted to sit down with you to put your life and career on the stage. From what I hear about you from other firefighters that you've worked with over the years, they think a lot of you, and we're honored to get the opportunity to sit with you today.
I'm happy to be here.
And you just started listening to the show. You just listened to
just listened to the first two.
Yeah,
coming back this past weekend.
Yep. Listen to Margaret. She's actually going to be sitting with us next week on a different episode. She's going to be a co-host though on it. So
oh wow,
yeah,
cool.
We just met her like a few weeks ago.
She is incredible. I listened to the episode. I mean, I sat through it, right? And then I listened to it, and I'm still like, man, so many cool stories, and just what an interesting life that she's lived. And to her, she's just like, that's my life. That's what I did. But we were all sitting over there just like, man, that's really cool. Scratching our heads, being like, we need to talk longer.
Yeah, some of us hadn't gone out of the Dallas County city limit, you know, that or the county
North
the
of
limits.
30.
Yeah, and she's living in Belize and getting a death threat put on her. So
that was crazy.
It was wild.
That was a wild story.
So you ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, we're going to start from the top. Talk about life growing up in Maryland.
So yeah, grew up in Maryland, kind of like Margaret did, but I don't know where she grew up. But I grew up in Howard County, the western end. It was considered Ellicott City, but the western end of the county was pretty much country. And so grew up there. Had my dad, he was a retired DC fire department, and my mom, she worked at the local bank. And then I had two older sisters, and so growing up, kind of just gravitated into sports. Started with Little League football, then Little League baseball, and found out about wrestling and loved it. Worked through that and wrestled through college, but gave up football in high school just to focus on wrestling. And then I realized, oh, lacrosse. Let's give me a stick and tell me I hit somebody. That's got to be great.
Did you have a cool nickname for wrestling?
No,
nothing.
No cool nicknames.
What was the weight class?
I was a lightweight.
Lightweight.
In high school, I was 98 pounds.
Okay.
And then I went in college. I was started at 118.
Yeah, well, that's
20 pounds.
Yeah,
That's a big
so
jump.
yeah. And when I finished high school, I was wrestling, I think, in the 119 weight class. So I stayed about the same. And
Okay.
Then, when I finished college, my last 2 years of college wrestling, I got hurt. So I never finished my junior or senior year. But yeah, a lot of dedication and discipline out of that sport.
You learn a lot of discipline, and because you can be the greatest wrestler, you make one wrong move, you're hemmed up.
Yeah, and then granted, it's a team sport, but it's an individual sport, so you have nobody else to rely on out there. It's you and you alone, and if you do, like you said, do something wrong, everybody knows it.
You're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So we're getting back into the college and or the wrestling in your college career, but your father was a firefighter.
Yes.
Can you talk about him?
So he was DC Fire. I remember He was a lieutenant at 21 Engine, and they called him the Alley Rats. And actually, I still stay in touch with this guy, Danny Potter. His story with his wife at the World Trade Center was is crazy to get to hear that story. But he was one of my dad's rookies at 21 Engine, and he went up to FDNY. And if you ever see the picture of the guy on the park bench, that's Danny Potter up in after the World Trade Center came down. He was looking for his wife. Yeah, that was him. So he stays in touch with me some. But I mean, just remember going down to 21 Engine with my dad and some of the stories there. And then he went to make captain and ended up being at Engine 4 Squad 2. And they rode basically the floor. And if it's engine run, they go off on that. If squad run, they take that until they had an incident outside of Rescue 1 when the rescue was gone and the firehouse. Some people died. Well, after that, now we're going to take this and you guys are full-time rescue and you guys are full-time engine companies. And so then he became the captain on the Squad 2 and then eventually got moved to dispatch where he eventually became battalion chief and he ended up retiring out of Battalion 1.
How many years?
He did. I believe it was 30 years, 3 months, and 8 days, I think he said.
Man, you firefighters, y'all get a long career.
We tried to.
Yeah.
I tried, but I had other plans too.
So I've got some experience in dispatch that I'd rather not talk too much about, but in the police side, dispatch is almost looked at as punishment. But on the fire side, I noticed every time we went over there, those guys were living their best life.
Well, I was down there too, and I can't say I lived my best life.
It wasn't quite as bad as our side was.
I think so.
But it was interesting. You said your father ended up down in dispatch. Was it the same thing there? Was it?
So for him, he was they run the floor differently. It's all civilians, and so he was kind of over the civilians and some fire on that side. It's more administrative. Whereas for the fire dispatch, I mean, I was voluntold, hey, you're promoting. You want to go dispatch or dispatch? Well, I guess I'm going to dispatch. So
narrowed your options there.
Yeah, it did. I was number 9 on that phone call list or 7. I don't know, but so for some, it's hey, you're voluntold to go there, and others, it's hey, I'm going to go there, and it's a benefit that hey, guys get hurt, you got an opportunity to go down there and continue working.
But it really was interesting to me to see that it was fully just firemen down there, right? And on our side, it's mostly professional staff or the non-sworn personnel, and that is a definite unique perspective of supervising. If you're used to supervising officers or firefighters, and then you go down and try to supervise the civilians, it's a completely different world.
Oh, it is. It is. And my dad tells me, he said, you need my trash can? Because he had a trash can that had plenty of dents in it. He said,
yeah, I bet. Well, when I was in legal, I worked with civilians and professional staff for the first time, and it was much different than working out in the streets. We're going to get into your career, but, the police and fire were known for just crude and shenanigans, and you just gotta talk and act differently.
Oh yes,
around you gotta be more civilized, I guess.
Yeah,
which yeah, not used to that. Still not used to it.
No,
and I don't act that way on the mic either. Looking at your father's firefighting career, did you ever look at like, man, I want to do that. I want to get into that gig.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a kid, I mean, Dad's a fireman. I mean, you hold him way high in the standard.
Coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I remember throwing a garden hose in the back of the pickup truck and, hey, Dad, there's fire down the street, and we'd just go down the hill to the woods, and I'd drag this little hose off, and, okay, I put the fire out, let's go back up. But, yeah, looked up to them and going to the firehouse when they used to have to go down there to pick up their paychecks. I'd go down there, and he even told me, last night, as a matter of fact, he said, yeah, sometimes I'd load up the whole neighborhood, and we'd go down there and pick up the checks.
Wow.
So, yeah, just climbing on the rigs. I mean, old Mack tiller truck, and they used to run a pumper and a hose wagon and climbing on them. And, this is a mask back when they wore the sling mask, not even a full mask and stuff.
A lot of safety with those.
Side note, pumper and hose wagon was Joe's nickname back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get that made on a T-shirt. Yeah. We may actually put that in the title, Pumper and Hose Wagon. Yeah.
It's a new tag team.
It is, yeah.
Tied it all the way back to wrestling.
WWE tag team.
No, but I definitely did look up to my dad back then, being a fireman, and thought about it as a kid. And then when I was in college, I applied to DC. Didn't get in. They said, "Oh, here's your month," but find out later we only taken the first 300 applicants.
Oh wow!
And
what is the size of DC's fire department? Do you know?
I want to say 33 stations, something like that. And they work 4 shifts, 24/72.
Okay.
Which when growing up, he worked a 3-day shift, 3 nights, 3 off. So I'd see him for 6 days, and he was always there for family. I mean, if something was going on, he coached my football team. Even in college, he missed one wrestling match, and that was in upstate Pennsylvania. And I got back home after that match. I'd be glad you didn't come because I didn't last out there that long.
That says a lot, though, for the firefighter profession that he was that present.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was very present.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and that's one thing. When I was getting out of the military, I was like, well, if I'm going to be a family, this is a great family life.
That's good.
Yeah.
So going into college, can you tell us where you went?
I went to, it was Western Maryland College. It's now McDaniel College. It was about 45 minutes up the road from where I grew up.
Did you have a wrestling scholarship?
No, it was D3, so there was no scholarship.
Okay, so you went, but you got into wrestling when you were there.
Yeah, I was kind of recruited for the wrestling, but okay, I'm going to go join the wrestling team and go from there.
What about that sport that attracted you the most? Is the competitiveness or the discipline?
I think it's both. Competition is, you and one other, and then the discipline. And like I said earlier, it's team, but then it's also individual. So you got your team working to help each other out, and then you're out there on your own. You got nobody else to rely on.
Yeah, they're just motivation at that point when you're out there.
Yeah.
You went to college, so you wrestled, but what major did you have?
I was a phys ed major.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I had no intention of what I wanted to do in life. I thought maybe I'll be an athletic trainer. But
was that because you applied for the fire and it didn't work out? So I'm just going to go to college and then.
No, I was in college.
Okay, and then you applied.
Then I applied. Okay. I even, I think it was during my freshman year, I thought about I'm just going to drop out and go join the Marines, but I realized crayons didn't taste too good.
Yeah. But speaking of military, though, you ended up after college. Mm-hmm. Where did you go?
So I did ROTC and no plan of the military at all. And my mom actually, she's like, hey, during the orientation, she just mentioned, hey, why don't you go do this rappelling? Okay, sure. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And they're like, and talking to the instructors of the ROTC program, like, hey, you can take this class and there's no obligation until your junior year. And okay, sure, I'll take it. Should be an easy grade. And yeah, it was. And I got the discipline from that also. And it was, we were invading Iraq the first time, going into Iraq. And we were walking into wrestling practice, and the guy at the front desk says, hey, did y'all hear? We're like, no, what? He said, we just invaded Iraq. We're like, all right. So, and I was injured, so I couldn't practice, but I was up running the gym, just a whole hour and a half, 2 hour practice, just running. I was like, I'm going to make this. I'm going to go to the military. And sure enough, that's where I went. And so I graduated college, and then in May, and then November, I was assigned. I got orders to report to Fort Benning, Georgia, for infantry school, and I went through that. And I've already done airborne school through ROTC, so infantry school, and I went to Ranger school, and then got assigned to Fort Bragg with the 82nd Airborne.
There's a history with that division, right?
Oh yes,
very historic and
iconic. They're kind of known.
Yeah, a little bit known.
Yeah, so that's where I wanted to go. That was my number one pick. Go to the 82nd Airborne.
Why'd you want to go there?
For the chance to go somewhere, do something.
They were looked at as one of the best, right?
Yeah, yeah, because I couldn't get into special ops right then, and I was like, okay, let's see if we can go be deployable, and hey, first in.
Sure enough.
And what when you got in there, what did you find you had a knack for?
I'm going to go off not really a knack for, but things I've learned from being in the military I brought to the fire department was leadership. How do you handle the guys? I learned a lot from leadership, and I brought to the fire department of, hey, you got to train these guys. And I look back I wish I would have done more when I was in the infantry. Hey guys, we're going to practice clearing rooms. We're going to do this. I mean, we had our schedule of 6 weeks of training phase, 6 weeks of support phase, 6 weeks of your on mission cycle. And you rotated from 2 to 4 to 6 hour recalls. And we could have done more. I could have had more stuff going on. And when, especially when Engine 11 became RIT, okay, we're going to train. I tried to do something every Monday. We're on shift specifically for that. But I was like, we got to do more. I'm going to make sure we do more. And my driver, Justin, he calls me Little Hitler sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, Little Hitler's back. Making us clean the kitchen. It's just do the right thing.
Right.
I mean, do the hard right, not the easy wrong.
It doesn't sound like you like sitting still.
No, I don't. Guys are like, let's see if we can get him some more coffee and see what happens to him.
Yeah, just as a social experiment.
Yeah, that happened one morning. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to whatever coffee shop and get this supercharged coffee and see how he handles this.
As far as leadership, do you find that you learn more lessons by reflecting on what you didn't do more than kind of what you did?
That along with just how you learn from mistakes.
100%.
Yeah.
I just personally, I don't know if I did a great job while I was doing it, but when I can look back and people are asking me questions about how I would do things, it's easier for me to see things retrospectively than it is when you're in the moment and actually doing things. So I don't know, maybe that's everything in life is a little bit easier to look back on, but
well, no, like hindsight is, in fact, is 2020. It's not just a cliche; it's real. And I think that's the qualities though of a good leader, though, that you can be self-aware and recognize you could have done better. Because let's be honest, I could speak from the PD, and I'm guessing on the fire, you have some leaders that really aren't leaders, and they never learn from their mistakes.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's plenty. I mean, you can definitely learn from mistakes and move forward. And there's some guys that don't, and they keep their head in the ground. It's like you can't do that.
You can't be as rigid.
Oh yeah, you got to be flexible.
Right.
I mean, just when dealing with different people, one person reacts this way and another one works this way. And I'm sure in the police side, but definitely in the fire side, how when I first came on, there was nothing to be. It was common to be yelled at. Hey, you're doing this wrong, dumb rookie kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And now, if you do that, like, I don't like to be talked that way. So you got to, and I found that, hey, we got to take the new guys when they show up and treat them differently. I mean, when I was cleaning out my closet or my locker at the station, guy Charlie Hill was with me, and I met him his first day walking in the back door of the firehouse. And he brought in some donuts and put them down. I walked in the kitchen, saw him, and said, guess we're not good enough for Krispy Kreme. Turned around and walked out. And he's just like, oh, crap, I screwed up from the beginning. But nowadays, it's like, hey, meet the new guy. Come here. Let's show you how we do this. And this is how we put our stuff on the edge. And this is how we take the other guy's stuff off. And that whole, you got to be kind of gentler almost. So
yeah, we it's a new generation, and we deal with that even on the PD, it's just it's different. It's different. I mean, I started here in the late 90s, and things are much different now, and it's going to be much different in 10 years and 20 years from now.
Yeah, time will tell if it's the right way to do things or if we had it right to begin with. Who knows at this point if we're doing things right or wrong? We're just trying to do the best we can with it, and things change, so we got to change with it.
Yeah, and I even found some of my guys. I'm like, hey, you work good with the young guys. You go with them. You help them out, and it always seemed to work better that way.
That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at your bio, and you've got you had quite a few deployments. Can you talk about Panama?
So yeah, I went to Panama. We were a quick reaction force for South Central America. They didn't really have a Army unit assigned there, so. And actually, when we first got down there, it was, I want to say, the Libyan embassy was taken over.
Yep.
And we were going down there, and they're like, "Oh, we might be going to take care of some business down there in Peru."
How'd you feel about that?
Oh, excited! All of us were.
You wanted some action.
Yeah. That's part of why I wanted to go to the 82nd, like get some action and stuff. But looking back, I was a peacetime veteran. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. I never got to see it, but at the same time, I don't feel like I fully did what I was signed up to do. But it was a great deployment. And
you came back as the company XO.
Yeah, so I went down as a platoon leader, and while we're down there, just things happened. Some people moved, and our company XO, he got moved to I think the battalion logistics officer, and I was the senior lieutenant. And they're like, okay, you're now the company XO. So then it was Will. He took care of getting us down there. I had to take care of getting us all back, and loading everything up, and stuff like that, which actually seemed to go pretty easy.
Yeah.
The going down, I think, was the hard part. It's just like you go on vacation. Oh, what do I want to pack? What do I pack? When you're leaving, oh, just throw it in the bag. Let's go.
Yeah. Did you embrace that position of getting?
I did. I enjoyed it. I love the infantry. I will say probably when I got switched to logistics, I became the assistant support operations officer, which we were working with the brigade I was in. Their logistics officer, and they would tell us what they need. We'd figure out how to get it in, and then once we got it into our forward support battalion, they would distribute it. So we were the ones trying to work with them of what do you need and how we're going to get it in. And then eventually got moved to the battalion operations officer. So the boss I had in the support operations officer, he became the battalion executive officer. And I was still kind of, am I staying, going? What are my plans? I got to go to advanced course. And they're like, hey, we need a battalion operations officer. And the company at CO, or the battalion commander, he said, I want him. And there was a little stir because I wasn't advanced course qualified. And like, well, he's a captain. I want him. And finally I got the job, and might have pissed a few people off, but it is what it is. But I love that job. I got to do some plans. I was over the basically, hey, if we went somewhere, how do we defend the forward support battalion? And I think we helped plan going to Kosovo. I think it was.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. So I'll remember that weekend, that Sunday actually, because we took mission cycle on Friday, and then we're supposed to do a practice deployment on the Monday. The planes flew in and stuff, and we're like, okay, no big deal. We know what's going on. And then Sunday morning, get a phone call. Hey, we want to go over what we're doing for Monday for the practice deployment. Like, we do this stuff all the time. Let's go with it and see how we handle it. To my company XO or battalion XO, and okay, don't worry about it. I'll cover you. Well, that afternoon, get a call. Hey, need you to come in for a meeting. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We do this stuff all the time. I was getting upset, and get there and go to my office, grab a few things, head up to the division support command. I walk up there and like, sir, we need to see your ID. I'm like, what? You need to see my ID? All right, I'm gonna go back to my office. Walked back down and came back up and showed them, okay. I mean, they were like, hey, we know who you are, but we need to check this. And they're like, okay, go to the conference room. Walk in. Blinds are drawn, maps are covered. The battalion commander and the XO and support operations officer are there. And I sit down and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then the division support command XO walks in. Or no, I think it was the operations officer. He walks in and says, I've been holding this secret for 2 weeks. Finally, I can say something. But we're going in tomorrow night. We're like, what? What's going on? So it was, and then obviously you can look at the history of it, but things went real slow. The next morning we got alerted, and from the planning all that Sunday afternoon into the early Monday morning, we were going to go in, jump in. And then when we showed back up a few hours later, went home, got some quick sleep, and came back. A few hours later, it was like, oh, we're not jumping in. We're going to go in nice and peacefully. And then it turned into, hey, we're going to go in about 2-3 weeks and reduce our size of however many people are going to go. So
it's very fluid. I mean, it just sounds like it was just ever evolving and changing.
Oh, yeah. And it's probably for the best.
Yeah, of course. I want to get into... You had your military career going. It was going along great. I mean, as far as you promoting up, when did you decide, I think I'm going to revisit this fire fighting business?
So I realized that being in support was not for me. I was thinking, hey, let's go to special operations. And my wife at the time, we talked, and more I did research. I was like, this is not a good family life. I mean, high divorce rate, and guys, if you make it and then you get on a team, you're gone a lot. And it's not just a steady, you're gone. It's come home, go. And realize probably not the best family life for us. And so I was like, let's go be a fireman. Why not? So I started testing across the country. I mean, shoot, I tested in Phoenix, Orlando, Denver. The day I was moving here to Dallas, I got a letter from Charlotte, hey, apply.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be in a bigger city, try to be in the South, but I was just going to go all over the place.
And when you got that call from Dallas, how was that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
because they have a great reputation.
They do. And my dad, he's been down here before, and he knew that Dallas had a great reputation, good fire department.
What kind of? Yeah, I'm guessing you had family support whenever you decided I'm going to go do some firefighting in Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, I think my number one choice. Well, I didn't have a number one choice. My wife at the time, she, I think, really wanted Orlando because of Disney.
Yeah, wow. Go figure. That'd get old and expensive quick.
Yeah. But I landed here, and everybody's supportive. My dad was real supportive. Hey, that's a great department. You're going to do well there.
And what year was this?
In 2000.
Okay, 2000.
I started April of 2000.
So what was the culture like of when you got into the academy? I want to getting into that. What was the culture like there?
I mean, there's big brotherhood, sisterhood, and a lot of camaraderie, and that's one thing I was looking for. I was kind of losing that to a point with the military. I mean, it was different going from the infantry, and then as you move up, you get more staff jobs, so you're not right with the guys all the time. And I noticed that even when I came here to do the physical agility. See, the rookie class that was in there was cheering on the guys doing the physical agility test. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And yeah, you can definitely tell the camaraderie culture back then.
And that appealed to you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And yeah, you've already. I was thinking about this when I was writing this. The flow for this is the brotherhood and sisterhood that you had in the military. How was it different from military to the fire department?
I'll say that the fire department, you're more close knit compared to military, because I was an officer, so you're looked at differently. You're not, hey, you're part of us, but you're not part of us. You're our boss, and you're kind of separated. And that's one thing I almost wish that, like I said, training wise, hey, let's go do this, and I'll be right there with you doing it. And looking back, I wish I would have done more of that stuff.
And being a leader, you don't realize how many lives you can influence, and you're in a position to influence lives and careers, and that also can trickle down to home life. Mm-hmm. When they leave the state fire station, they go home. Who they are and who they're molded to be by their leaders can greatly affect or infect their home life and just the way they treat people and who they are.
Oh yeah, and I mean how you handle. And one thing, my captain and I always were, hey, family first. If something was going on in the family, take care of that. I mean, we'll be here, take care of family, and we'll move forward.
So the military is known for having a pretty good leadership program, right? They teach you how to be a leader. There's a lot of courses and stuff. My experience with the Dallas Police Department is we don't have a lot of that. We've tried to dabble in a little bit of the stuff, and we've got a few programs that they've tried to push through, but it's not as direct as military leadership. Do you feel like the fire department does a better job with that as far as actually promoting leadership and teaching it?
I think probably the fire department's almost in the same boat as the police department. I mean, it's, can you take a test and how well have you studied to prepare for it? Not, let's get you to be a leader and move up. That's one thing I joke around. It took me 3 times to pass the lieutenant's test. Granted, first time I took it, I scored pretty good, and I was like, I'm not ready. I don't want to have 6 or 8 years, I can't remember, and turn around and have a driver with 5 years and then 2 guys in the back with less than that, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah, I can push a button and say, hey, go this way, but do I really know what I'm doing? No. So I just kind of blew it off. I just wanted to see how it went. And the second time was kind of the same way. I remember a fire we had off of Wycliffe one morning, and I was a driver and stepping up to be a lieutenant that day. And another friend of mine, he was now driving me because our regular driver was off. And the call comes in for smoke in the area. Okay, and I was, look, well, we need one body. I yelled back, hey, Colin, hop on. And Colin he's now the truck driver on B shift. And he's a young guy, pretty young in the department still, and he hops on. And we pull up, and that wasn't steam, because the comment said possible steam coming out of the building. That wasn't steam. It was smoke pushing. I said, okay, let's get dressed, and then I'll transmit the box. And I did, and everybody's like, that's pretty good. I like how you did that. And so we went in, and after that fire, I was like, I felt comfortable to kind of know what I was seeing, experiencing, and I can control some things. So I was like, okay, now I'm ready. And I'll never forget Greg Griffin, I think, and I told him, he says, I've been telling you you're ready to be a lieutenant. You just didn't want to listen. So one thing, like you said, the fire department, hey, if you can study real good, you can take the test. Hey, okay, guess what? Let's move you up, kind of thing. Move you to driver. And then when you start going for officer, well, now we're going to do the assessment centers, which those have changed, but I still think the leadership aspect of training and teaching needs to be tweaked a little bit.
It's really intriguing to me because I grew up in a military town. I grew up right outside of Randolph Air Force Base, right up just around San Antonio, and there's tons of military bases all over there. So I saw a lot of people that moved through their careers through the military, and you really can observe the leadership.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't see that in the police department, but I don't know. There has to be a tangible thing that you can put your finger on for promotion too, right? You can't just promote people because you like them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get to the upper levels. But at the beginning of your career, you have to have something that's testable. And it is a knowledge base of our job that they test us on, but it's abstract stuff. You know, it's really kind of weird, the questions that you get. Whereas if you ask questions that pertain to the job of a police officer versus what's the weight of a bell on a train in a city of more than 500 people, you know, some weird things like that. It's kind of weird how we test that stuff, but there has to be something testable. But even then, you should be like the mentoring process for leadership, right? Mm-hmm. I think that leadership is learned, but it's more absorbed than it is taught, right? So you have to experience it more than just sit through a book and read it. I don't think that's how leadership's taught.
No, I agree. It's like we even said, you learn things looking back. You make a mistake, you can learn from it, and then how do you affect that and moving forward? And you got to also learn to take care of your crew. You take care of your crew, they're going to take care of you. And I don't know how the police does it, because most of the time you guys are in the car by yourself, which that's got to be. I would find that being difficult. You're out there on your own, almost like when I was in dispatch. You had your own little island,
right?
And but yeah, you can mess with other people and get up, walk around, but you had your island you're working at. And so in the police, you guys are in your car by yourself most of the time. And for us, you're in the firehouse and cracking jokes and having a good time. And then when the bell hits, okay, time to be serious. But at the same time, okay, in the firehouse, we're going to train or we got to clean. But let's joke around, let's relax, especially for us at Engine 11. We're busy. It was nothing for a stretch to make 20 runs in a shift. And, okay, guys, they'd always say, hey, what are we going to do today, Lou? I'm like, fight fire and take naps, and probably heavy on the naps.
That's a good day, right?
Yeah.
Where did you start?
I started in South Dallas, Station 44.
Which is off of?
It was off of Lagow and Frank, and now it's just Lagow and I don't even know.
It's a little further up. I just went to it. Went to it a couple months ago. It's nice and new. So the one at Lagow and Frank, back in our little dope chasing heyday, we would always meet in that parking lot across the street to kind of game plan to whatever house we're going to go knock out.
Yeah, and I listened to Jeff Patterson's podcast the other day, and it was like, yeah, you guys, hey, we're going to be over here. If you hear something, come get us.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that was we looked at the fire stations as for one, we could go in and go to the restroom and then chat y'all up and then get our head straight. But also, we looked at it as a safe place for us to park a squad car.
Oh yeah,
and leave it.
Yeah,
not a whole lot
because
of
they're like,
out there.
it's just a firehouse and there's a squad car.
Yep.
They don't think two things.
Exactly.
About it.
So we would use. It was really common for us to go and we'd have like 8 or 10 of us, and we'd go and leave 2 cars at the fire station and pile in 2 cars and then go to location. And our cars were safe with y'all.
Yeah.
Well, usually.
Yeah, usually.
Still
Well, maybe not all the time.
Man, yeah.
But things have changed. I've heard stories way back when let me see your gun, rookie, and
Or
had to answer.
Yes, and also you go back and you go to open your door and there's something sticky and gummy under the. You don't want. I don't even want to know what that is.
You got to park in the right spot for sure. Don't block anybody in. That'll be a problem.
When you get out there, and that is for the listener. We have a lot of people listen outside of the states and outside the country. That fire station is right in the heart of one of the busiest and most violent parts of South Dallas.
Yes.
And it's close to Fair Park. Lots of guns, drugs, and it's just it's a very poor part of the city. There's a lot of crime there, and there's a lot of bad things that happen out there. And when you got out there, you're drinking from a fire hose, literally. I mean, that's just what appealed most about that.
I think it was just the chance of more fire, because it's a lower income area. Usually, lower income area, you got the chance of more fire.
Can you describe that? Tell the listener why that is.
I think it's just the houses aren't kept up as well. I mean, some
More
of the houses
dilapidated.
and they're built back in the '60s, and they had to.
Well, you had space heaters. You've got people using the oven as a heater.
Yeah,
or
I'll never forget
clothes.
the one time we made a run, and this lady burned her eyeball. Well, she took the curling iron, cut the cord off of it, and was heating it up on the gas stove, and she missed her hair and went to her eye. I mean, I was like, "But you have electricity right there." Well, that's just the way I do it. Or just same, they'd also just open the oven and turn it on. That's how they heat the house.
Very common, especially the gas. You'd have the gas stove, and we'd go in a house.
Such
and
a unique smell.
Hot as hell. Yeah, unique smell, and you got flames going in there. Kids around.
Hot.
Yeah, very hot.
That or the what they call it, the post tube electricity in the attic, where it's open wire basically.
Right.
With Johnny Sanchez, shout out Johnny. He's going to listen to this for sure. He always kind of described to me, and I always find it fascinating when he talks about the different types of wood when houses are built and different generations of the tempered wood versus the treated wood. I mean, it's really interesting of what burns quicker. And can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I didn't really notice this until I got out of South Dallas, because I went from 44s to 24s, stayed in South Dallas, and then I went up to I promoted to driver and went to Station 24. And that's where I first met my captain, Charlie Hiles, when he was a lieutenant. And then he left, and then I went up to the now hazmat team, Station 3, when they moved from 4s to 3s for the hazmat team. It was okay, well, let's put paramedics in here. And I tilled Truck 3 for many a year, but we kept coming into South Dallas. And most of their walls it's wood frame, and then you also have shiplap almost everywhere. And when I got up to 11s, well, you still see shiplap, but it's more drywall, and the drywall holds that heat in. I was like, oh, that's a little bit different. And you're not burning the structure as much as you're burning the contents, whereas in South Dallas, and you're burning more of the structure.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I found it real interesting when I moved, and then it was just a different building construction, and that's part of being a fireman. You need to know building construction.
Well, South Dallas is a very old neighborhood, and those houses are pretty.
Yeah, it's historic.
It is historic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very old.
Very old.
It's interesting how I remember Larry Joe Mitchell. I mean, bless his heart, he passed years ago. Great guy. I mean, he'd work almost every shift. That's what he did. I mean, you need a sub, call Larry Joe. And he'd always call you a scumbag if he liked you. But
it's in terms of endearment.
Scumbag.
Yeah.
So, but he delivered mom from grandmom, and then delivered the daughter from mom. So he had 3 generations. So that's just South Dallas.
That is South Dallas.
Yeah, and they all live in the same house.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite memories of working out there?
I got to say the crew first. I mean, Brian Boyd, great man. He taught me a lot coming on. Then Gordo, Randy Willman and Steve Wise, and then we got Matty Little, who we were in rookie school together, and I came out of paramedic school before him, and then he came in. Man, we just had a blast, just having fun with each other, watching movies when we could. Matt and I, sometimes we kick our shoes off and put up Band of Brothers, and if a run came in, whatever shoe you put on, that's what you put on. And it didn't matter what foot. But, yeah, I mean, great times, learned a lot. I remember Randy Willman. I don't know if you know his story. He died of cancer years ago, but he's been with the fire department. Hey, guys, start doing the right thing. Get your gear clean and take care of yourself. And I still take that to the college and work with them at the fire academy up there in Collin College. But he grabbed me the first day. Hey, you know what to do. You're doing the right thing. Just keep doing it. And man, they taught me a lot about fighting fire. And there's been plenty of times when I was a rookie at 44s and guys at 24s were there, and they'd be yelling at me. I was like, I'd probably got yelled at from their station some days just because they thought I was doing something wrong.
So you talk about the passing away of cancer. Was it a unique type cancer that was unique to the fighting business?
So he got a rare stomach cancer, and it took a while. But they were like, "Hey, the only way you can get this, it wasn't hereditary, was the fire service." And they ended up figuring that out, and so now he's his family. I mean, Garrett, his son, he's like, "Hey, this is what caused it." So, yeah, I take that story and take it up and try to pass that along. Hey, guys, take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to take care of your family or your head.
We didn't know about, you started in 2000, but what happened in 2001, 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And years later, that's when we talked about it before on the show, that so much more information started coming out about what the firefighting community, what they're exposed to and what it causes down the road, because it wasn't talked about before.
No, it wasn't talked about at all until down the road after September 11th. And then with Randy's thing, is like, guys, we got to start taking care of ourselves. It's not just let's eat fried food every morning or 3 meals, and we got to take showers. I mean, even now, if you have a good fire and you're in there working, hey, they wanted you to start deconning at the scene. Go back home, take a shower, and then go back in service. They even issued us a second set of gear, and I think now they're doing something with
Quartermaster program,
where, hey,
Chief discussed it.
We're going to bring you a new set and that kind of stuff.
Hell, every little bit helps, because that was not done before. I mean, even going back to, we had David Lindsay on starting in '81. There weren't many safety measures done. You basically you'd go out and you'd work a scene, take your crap off, try to go back to bed, and you're right back into that same suit.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, the culture's changed from how dirty can I get my gear to be, and then, hey, if your gear's nasty, you probably need to get it clean, because you're going to start affecting yourself, and that affecting yourself then affects your crew, and then just the steamrolls. And then it'll affect your family, too.
Of course. You did mention something that kind of made me smile. You talked about putting Band of Brothers on. I've been trying to get Kent to watch that, because it's one of my favorite all-time shows.
Oh, it's a great show.
Well, Friday, we're actually going to be sitting with a Dallas police officer, Chris Langlois. His grandfather was Doc Rowe in the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and now he writes children's books about Easy Company, about the Airborne, and about the story of Band of Brothers, but they're children's books to keep his grandfather's story alive.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited.
I'm seeing that.
I'm going to be geeking out sitting there, because what I take away, and Kent's probably tired of hearing this, I took away of seeing how pure great leadership, natural leadership, can affect any task or a unit, and then how bad leadership can just destroy.
Mm-hmm.
And that show, I think, highlighted that amazingly.
It did. I mean, how poor leadership will kill morale, for one. But if you have good leadership, it'll keep morale up even when the organization morale might be coming down. You can keep your core unit morale up and things like that.
What's the leader? I mean, you as a leader, that's your job. Your job is to take care of the people below you.
Mm-hmm. And I've always said, if you can take care of the crew below you, the guys below you, they'll take care of you too.
Yeah, they can make you look really good. Mm-hmm. But if you go in and you beat them down every day and you don't pick them up, they're going to stay down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job as a leader to pick them up.
Oh yeah, and that's part of it. I joke around about, hey, we're going to fight fire and take naps. Just, hey guys, today we're going to kind of relaxing, but there's some days when we got to do work.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're working Wednesday, let's clean the kitchen, and I jump in there right there with them. I mean, you're cleaning, I'm going to clean. So, and it helped because firehouse kitchens can get pretty nasty.
Oh, I
if you don't
bet.
keep it up. I mean,
a bunch of grown men and running around. Yeah, living there. Yeah, it's like a frat house.
Oh yeah, it can be.
What was home like for you at this point?
Oh, when I was down in South Dallas, I mean, it was good. I mean, so my son, he's now 24, and he's trying to get on the fire department. He's like me, test everywhere. He's in the process in Dallas, and he's in the process of Atlanta, Charlotte, DC. So,
Dang, are you hoping he gets Dallas?
Actually, no.
No, okay.
No, I want him to have his own legacy. Don't follow in Dad's footsteps, and do your thing. I mean, yeah, I wanted to be in DC, follow my dad's footsteps, but it's probably a good thing I didn't. I did my own thing. Plus, he's like, Dad, I grew up here. I want to do my thing. I'm like, yeah, great.
Good for him.
So, and one other thing we talked about is, do you want to be a paramedic and a part-time fireman, or you want to be a full-time fireman? Do you want to be a full-time fireman? Let's go east or north. And here in Dallas, you're basically a full-time paramedic with a part-time fireman position. I mean, yeah, you're a firefighter, but hey, I'm on ambulance today. I'm on the truck today. I'm on the engine the following shift. Now I'm back on the ambulance. And, oh, I'm supposed to be on the engine. Oh, so-and-so called in sick. Guess what? You're back on the ambulance. And you go to other cities, your focus is I'm on the engine or I'm on the truck. And there's that camaraderie and the tradition of engine versus truck. And you get that some here. I mean, we always give Buster truck guys chops of, hey, you can flatten round those tires out, make a lap or something. Hey, oh, there's a house cat just sitting there once again when we back in.
To be a paramedic and firefighter is totally different, but y'all get called out so many times on medical emergencies, right?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of them shouldn't have been put in. I mean, realistically, it happens with us with 911 calls too.
Yeah, and when I was in dispatch, I'd be like, oh, this hurts, but I got to hit send. This hurts. And sometimes I'd hit send, see the guys getting around, and I'd call them on the cell phone, say, hey, guys, sorry I had to do this, but this is what's going on. But, yeah, and, I mean, listen to Jeff Patterson's podcast the other day, and my wife says, you really go out on that stuff? I said, yeah. I mean, I need a blood pressure. I think my blood pressure's up at 2 a.m. Can you check it? Oh, you're fine. Okay, that's all I wanted. That kind of stuff. And
serving the city.
Yeah, and it's job security too. When you flip the script in your head of, oh, I got to go out and do this. Hey, they could not be calling, and you could also not have a job.
True.
So it's just a mentality, and I get it. It's a beating sometimes. The welfare check, and especially nowadays, the cell phones. You get people calling, oh, there's a person lying down over here.
Yeah, must be dead.
Must be dead. It's they look like they need help. It's a homeless person. We might know them by first name basis, and they walking and sit down, and I'm taking a break right here. And sure enough, somebody picks up the phone. Oh, they need help. No, they don't. And especially especially if you saw them and kept driving, did you stop and ask them? No, I just saw them and kept on going. That kind of stuff.
And you're getting rousted out of bed to go and yeah.
What was your favorite assignment?
Being at 11s, especially as a lieutenant there. That was my favorite assignment. I loved still in Truck 3, but I will say finally being a lieutenant on Engine 11. And by the end of my career, the last few years, I was like, because if the captain's off, usually the officer will move up, or the swing lieutenant rides the engine, and the officer that's assigned there will move up to the truck. And I'm like, not my truck, not my problem. I'm riding this engine.
What about 11?
Always something. I mean, you walk in the back of the firehouse and you just feel tradition. I mean, pictures on the wall of years of stuff, and then you just feel the tradition. I mean, the firehouse was built in 1909. It was renovated in the 80s, and then again, I think it was 2014. The kitchen was redone. But you just feel the tradition walking in, and so many stories come out of that firehouse. It's crazy. We joke around about things. Just different things. I remember my old Lieutenant Ladd, when he left to go North Dallas, he he called me and says, "Hey, I'm looking to leave. You want to take my spot?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And actually, I was on a middle of the Caribbean on a cruise with my kids, and when that happened, and so going back there, and just he was always a jokester, and something happening, but I was blessed to be able to go back to that place, and just some of the things and stories and would come out of there. It's always something. You never know what's going to happen, especially there, because I mean, you got the neighborhood and then everything around. And I tell all the young guys that come in, I'm like, hey, we might not fight a lot of fire, but you're going to learn a lot more here than you would in other parts of town. And I get guys swing in or something, and they're like, how do you know this? I said, I've been doing it a lot, but I got to give it to Chief Hampton when I was on light duty and was assigned to him, then doing building construction and then fire protection systems. I learned so much on that. So you go to a fire alarm, like, okay, what am I looking at? And you're like, well, that's red. That's fire. This is gray. It's going to be your domestic stuff, like your water and that. So we start looking at this, and then you figure it all out. So
speaking of not knowing what you're going to get into at 11, I'm going to take you back to July 21st, just last year. I send out a lot of bios whenever get preparing for these episodes, and your bio was very descriptive and very riveting. It was like honestly, it was like reading a novel about that night, or that when it happened. I kind of want to bring that text to life. So can you kind of just tell us how the day started and lead up to everything?
Well, we'll see how this goes.
We can take pauses.
This might get a little rough, but
that's all right.
Woke up that morning, just a Sunday morning. Wasn't thinking of it. I actually woke up early. No thought. Just okay. Got up. Well, I got up early. Let's get up, get out of here. It's nothing big going on. And so we remarried, and we have at that time a 2-year-old daughter, and she was in the pack and play in our room, I believe. And my wife Courtney, she's like, whatever you do, don't kiss her because she'll wake up, and then I got to put her in the bed with me, and then I can't sleep. And I want to sleep. So I learned to just let her sleep as much as I want to go give her a kiss and say goodbye or something, even if she's upstairs in her room.
What is her name?
Haley. And so I got up that morning and did my thing and left early. And Courtney was like, later on, she's like, why'd you leave early? And she realized I left early because Haley woke up, and then she put her in the bed with her, and she can't get on me because I didn't budge her at all. She just happened to wake up. But got to the firehouse, and driving in, I was like, it's raining a little bit. First day it rained in like 3 months. And when that happens, we know the oil starts coming up off the road some. Got to the station and relieved a guy who was a lieutenant on C shift at Station 17. And relieved him because I knew he had to go to work. My captain had a sub coming in, called this guy Kalachi, Mike Kolachecki, and he's been with me since almost day one. He came out of probation and eventually came to work with us, and then got off probation, came back as a rookie, and then he made driver, went to B shift, and he made lieutenant and stayed on B shift at 11s, and great friend. And so I relieved him, and I had a step-up driver because my driver was off, and he did whatever he did. And usually in the mornings, we come in, and we sit down, drink our coffee, smoke and joke, and then at 6:30, I'm going to go do my staffing and update all the information we need. Well, it was so Kalachi comes in, and I said, hey, you've been off. Where do you want to ride? He says, where do you want me to ride? I said, you've been off. You tell me. You get to choose. You want to ride the engine or truck? He said, well, it sounds like you want to ride the truck. I said, all right, I'll ride the truck. And right then the bells hit. Box is transmitted down in 3's district. And I turned around and said, too late, sucker. Turned around and hopped on, put my stuff on, climbed in, and we started out the door. And as we're looking, I started out, Avery was in the back behind me. And he says, whoa, we're missing one. And because that morning, my driver's off, so we got a step-up driver. The 2 guys in the back hadn't been relieved yet from B shift because we had 2 higher backs coming in, guys working overtime. And so they weren't there yet. So we stopped, and Corbin climbs on, and then this time I'm able to look at the map, say, hey, okay, now where we're going. It looks like engine 3's there. So I flip back to the other part of the computer and read the first comment. It says, fire in the fireplace. I was like, isn't that where it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
But the guy driving me, he says, where are we going? I don't know this one. I said, well, hang a left on Cedar Springs, run it to McKinney, hang a left and right on Hall. Thinking fire in the fireplace, we're going to get disregarded. And engine 3's on location. We're not even going to make it to Central, the expressway. I was like, we're not even going to make it there. And sure enough, get going and slid a little bit from when we got off on McKinney on the Hall, but nothing. I mean, it can happen. And didn't think anything of it. But started going down the road, and I told Eric as we headed out the door, I said, man, we're RIT, which for us, RIT is where almost like a quick reaction force. If something goes wrong, somebody gets hurt or injured or trapped in a fire, the RIT guys go get them out. We're specially trained of, hey, you guys go get them. And so we're RIT on this box. So we're the fourth engine. I said, man, we're RIT. It's starting to rain. Just take your time. And sure enough, he took his time. I mean, we weren't in any major hurry, especially after I read that first comment, the fire in the fireplace. All of a sudden, oh, we're at Central. Hang a right. Okay. And he's like, you want me to get on? I said, yeah, let's get up on the expressway, and then we'll take the Live Oak exit. And as we got up on the overpass, so that stretch of highway is all overpass. It's where 75 and 45 come together. It's I-345. It's all overpass. That's for probably half mile to a mile.
Yeah.
And the wall in that section, the walls aren't that big for keeping anything up. So we got disregarded. They tapped out the box. Okay, we're disregarded. And at that point, the back end of the engine wanted to keep going faster, going to keep going. I got to get there. And the front end's like, okay, I'm going to slow down. And that's when we started sliding.
It was still misty and raining at that point?
Yeah, it was still misty raining. And then I remember grabbing the Jesus handle, and as we started to slide, and saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. And actually, I'll back up. So right before we got disregarded, I looked down and saw the hose come off my air pack to my face piece was up under my seatbelt. I'm like, I never have it there. I always have it thrown up in the middle. So I was like, let me undo my seatbelt. I was like, just leave it. We're about to be disregarded. Not a big deal. And sure enough, we got disregarded. Well, that split second probably saved my life too, keep my seatbelt on. Because once we started sliding, next thing I remember is seeing the wall in front of me. And then you got the pillar for the street sign over the highway. I'm thinking, if we hit that might keep us up. I vaguely remember a crunch. I have no idea we went over. All of a sudden, I saw sparks going through the cab. And I'm like, why is the radio putting off sparks like that? That's weird. Come to find out, we're upside down on the transit dart lines. And they're sparking through the cab. I had no idea.
And for the listener, the dart, we have a dart, Dallas Area Rapid Transit. It's a dart rail system that runs through Dallas. It's our like little above ground train system throughout the city.
Yeah. So we got it, hit those, and then I just saw the sparks thinking, why is the radio putting off sparks like that? And then next thing I know is I hear McLemore's voice, Mike McLemore. He's lieutenant of Engine 18. I hear his voice. I'm like, hey, is that Mac? He's like, yeah. I said, get me out of here. And talking to him later on, I scared the living bejesus out of him when I understand, because he thought I was dead. Let alone Engine 18 missed their turn when they got disregarded. Or at some point they missed a turn, whether going or something, and hit the second turn and basically saw us come over and land. And he was right there on top of us calling a mayday to get us out and get the cavalry coming.
I want to back it up just slightly. So the significance of Corbin being slightly late.
18 seconds before we went over the bridge, the train went through that area. I don't think it was the tracks we landed, but that area. And everybody, if you see train tracks side by side, they're pretty close. But
Yeah.
it 18 seconds, we could have landed on that train, next to that train, or in front of it. Who knows? And been a whole different story.
Same thing with you telling them, hey, we're probably going to get disregarded on this, so just go a little bit slower.
Yeah. Just take your time. We don't need to be hauling butt to a fire. Just we know this is in the fireplace, and probably won't be much.
When you're hearing Mac's voice and you could clearly probably hear a panic in it, did you realize what the hell was going on at that point?
I don't even remember really hearing his voice other than, yeah, it's Mac. And no idea what's going on. I know I was saying my left knee hurt I don't know, but probably one of the first things. But that time I was trapped for 45 minutes. And they have actually called the amputation team, put them on standby.
You're upside down in a fire engine.
Mm-hmm. Actually, we're on our side now. And I don't remember most of this. I'll be honest with you. It's a lot of my timing on things is way off. Even I thought we're way further into this. And a guy who used to work for me, was at Station 33. He's now at Station 27. Works on the USAR team. And Callan, and he climbed in the cab. Said, "That's my guy. Get out and let me get by him." And at some point, I knew he was in there, and I thought he was in there when I asked this question. I said, "Hey, can I get a sheet to rest my head on?" I thought this was way far into the whole process of getting me out. And they said, I guess it was pretty early because the two paramedics, Jeremy and Judd, were walking up, and all they heard was get a sheet, not knowing it was for me to rest my head on. And they were like, "He can't be this far gone. What's going on?" And it messed with
the sheet
them. Thing. So a lot of times, if somebody dies, we'll cover them with the sheet until or to just cover them up. I mean, you see that all the time on shows, and they're thinking he can't be this far gone that we can't work with him. And so they eventually got it, but in my head, I thought I was so far into getting me out. Heck, I didn't even know it took 45 minutes till later. But they got the sheet, and I rested my head. And I don't know when Callan got in there at all, but I remember it was kind of weird. I thought he was in front of me the whole time. When he said, "No, I was right there by your left side." And I guess I finally realized I was on my right side, but I didn't. It's just where I was in orientation of everything. It was just kind of, I was going in and out, kind of, in my mind. For all I know, I was just chatting up a storm. But
what you remember?
Yeah, what I remember wasn't a whole lot.
You were there for 45 minutes. What time of day is this?
It was so the box came in at 5:55 right around 5:55 in the morning. So it's at 6 in the morning. I remember feeling my phone was in my pocket and feeling it buzzing. Like, who the heck's calling me at 6 in the morning? What the heck's going on? And come to find out is my buddy Ladd, who was my old lieutenant, who's now in North Dallas. He heard about it, and he realized when I wasn't answering, I was in there. Because I hadn't even updated our riding positions on our MDCs yet. I said, okay, let's get our stuff on and figure it out, who's riding where. And then we'll update it. So they were seeing, when they're looking to see who's on here, they were seeing Tim Dickey. And the guys got there and realized it was me. And okay. And Ladd, he called like, "Hey, what's going on at Engine 11? And when I didn't answer, he's like, "Okay, now I know who it is."
So you just kind of describe like you're in there, but Callan got in there, but who else is in there with you at that point? Did everybody else get extracted out?
So the other three guys, the step-up driver and two guys in the back, all self-extricated. They got out on their own.
Okay.
And Corbin even says, I opened my door and was standing there watching Battalion 3 drive by, and I'm trying to wave them like, "Hey, come over here," when they were still kind of heading to the structure fire, which was already tapped out. And then eventually they turned around. But, yeah, those three guys walked away. And I've said this from day one. I'll take this on. You guys walked away. I can take this on. I'll be fine.
So you're there for 45 minutes. So how did they eventually get you out of there? Do you remember?
So this is something that kind of came up later. Was we've never taken care of our own guys in a wreck where we have to get them out of a fire engine. Guys are trained on cars and trucks and buses and all this other stuff, but never worked on cutting out of a fire engine. And one thing with this one, the manufacturer, they put like an internal roll cage almost, which probably helped save our lives too. But that became a challenge, getting me out, what I understand. Because eventually when they finally cut the A post, which is the front post by the windshield and the door, it popped and shifted things. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm hearing all this later on. It was a big shift, and they were able to then move the dash. And what I understand, it was Casey Towery finally reached his hand inside and shifted some plastic, and that freed me up on my right leg. But everybody's like, why is he complaining about his left leg? His left leg's hurting. Everything on his right side should be hurting. He's lying on his right side. The impact was on the front right. I don't get this. Come to find out, I damaged my knee pretty good. So
when you got out, you were taken, I mean, what hospital were you taken to?
I was taken to Baylor. So as they're getting me out, I remember him saying, hey, we're going to shove some webbing up underneath you because we got to lift you out. We can't just pull you out. They're even preparing to maybe take me out of the back. They're cutting a hole in the top of the cab, and we're thinking maybe we got to take the seats out and go that way. So they were working multiple angles of how to get me out. And they finally freed my right leg, and they shoved some webbing up underneath me. And Callan told me, he says, yeah, I kept telling him, you're in charge of holding that leg. Don't let that thing move, because he's complaining about that left leg. And they said, okay. And actually my captain, Charlie Hiles, his nephew, Carson, who was lieutenant, got in there. And I remember him saying, hey, we're going to put this underneath you. It's going to hurt, but we got to get you up and out of over the A post. And so put me in the back of the ambulance. I remember them lifting me, and I remember going to the back of the ambulance. And I think it was Alex Gonzalez said, hey, who do you want me to have Justin call Courtney? I'm like, why would my son, whose name's Justin, call my wife? He's like, you want me? And he said it again. I was like, oh, my driver, Justin. But he's off on vacation. I said, yeah, fine. And I told Callan when I was going, I said, you're staying in the back of the ambulance with me. And I joke with him now about how I get to ride the ambulance with him. But so they took care of calling my wife, and we can just talk that here in a little bit. And I said, hey, my phone's in my pocket. If you would get it out, you can get all my medical information and all that stuff on there. And he said, okay, I got it. And got to Baylor Hospital. I know they gave me some fentanyl, kind of drugged me up, so I'm not feeling much pain. And I remember him cutting my right pant leg. That's it. And then when they typical, when you go to the trauma floor, that's check how you are on your backside. And I remember, okay, now I'm going to get the old finger wave, see how I'm doing. They just rolled me over and said, clench your butt. Okay, rolling back. It's like, I didn't get the welcome to Baylor handshake.
Right.
Yo, hey, buddy.
Yeah. So, but don't remember most of it.
Because you were out of it. But
yeah.
I'm looking at your injuries. You had two major head lacerations.
Mm-hmm.
It took two doctors working together to 3 hours to stitch that.
Yeah, that's what I was told. And actually, there's a point in time I was FaceTiming my daughter, who was in South Carolina at this time, while they're stitching me up.
Poor daughter.
Yeah, well, she gets it. She's trying to get in something in the medical field a little bit. But yeah, I had two major lacerations when I was up in the ICU floor. That's when they started stitching me up. Took about 3 hours.
You had a very broken body. I mean, it was you had grade 4 tear to our vertebral artery. Says it's significant because the left one doesn't attach to the basilar artery.
Yeah, so I had a stroke in 2016.
Okay.
And they found out after my scans, they thought, I had a clot, and that's why I had a stroke. Well, we find out I have arterial venous malformation on the left side, so my left vertebral artery doesn't attach to the basilar artery. It just kind of fizzles out. And now this accident, I got a grade 4 tear of my right vertebral artery. So now I'm running on just my 2 carotid arteries. And after 6 months after the accident, we got another scan, and like, yep, you're still clotted. And finally got released from that doctor a few months ago. But she said, yeah, you're just going to live like that. And until you have symptoms, there's no need for you to keep coming back to me. So got released from her. And so, yeah, it's a little significant when I've got 2 arteries feeding my brain now.
Yeah.
So
it's really not that important.
No, not at all. So you got your spine is beat to hell.
Yeah, so I have initially I had a epidural hematoma from C3 to T2, and with that, they found later I also had a fracture of the C7 transverse process, which is on your spine, the bones that kind of stick out to the side,
the pokey ones.
Yeah. So had that, and since then. I've had a neck fusion of C5, 6, and 7. I
see your beautiful scar there, just like I got right here.
Yeah, I got a nice scar and a little spot underneath from the drainage too. But I was a little sketchy going to that surgery. I was told the surgeon, I said, I'm real nervous about this because you're going to go in there and take my throat and my esophagus and all that and shift it to one side. And you're going to take the artery, one of the 2 good ones I have left, and shift it to the other side. He said, we're going to be fine. I deal with people a whole lot worse. I'm like, okay.
Prove it.
You're like, all right, hero. Here I am.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I was. Prove it. Okay, I'll trust you, but I don't. But yeah. So that was a little scary when he's like, I'm going to move this one good one away and leave you with one still functioning fine.
And you got your finger smashed. Your knees are you're torn.
So I had fractures to my left pinky and middle finger and ring finger on my left hand, and then also had tore my left PCL, which the surgeon, I mean, the practice that we go to with Dallas and Pete and the fire and PD for the orthopedics, amazing practice.
Can you say the name?
Yeah, Texas Sports Medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, so amazing from top down. I was getting phone calls from their staff because being workman's comp, okay, I got out of the hospital, and Baylor did all the referrals, and the referrals had to Baylor doctors, but workman's comp doesn't deal with Baylor doctors outside, and so we had to go to Care Now, of all places. We're like, really?
Rehab, 2 weeks.
I gotta go to Baylor. I gotta go to Care Now to get referrals, and then they did great. I think it was a PA walks in and says, I know you're here just for referrals. I'm like, yes, because I was not happy. My wife was not happy. She's like, really? We got to go to Care Now. You just got out of the hospital, the ICU, and we got to go here. So, okay.
Courtney, I don't blame you.
It's part of the game, I guess. But so she's like, gave me all the referrals and started going to doctors. But Texas Sports Medicine, they were calling and setting up appointments before we even got approved to go see them. So they were on top of it. And, hey, you're going to go see a hand doctor. You're going to see a shoulder doctor. You're going to go see the knee doctor. And so.
These are all the same guys that work on the Stars and the Rangers and the Cowboys too, right?
I know the knee doctor, Dr. Sorial, he was the Mavericks team doctor for a while. So, yeah, they work on plenty of professional athletes.
They've done a few knees.
Yeah, quite a few.
High-profile knees.
Yeah, high profile, a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of yeah. If you got a doctor that's working on those folks, you know that you're in good hands.
Yeah.
So how far was the fall?
We fell about 35 feet, 35 feet, I believe.
You know, I keep thinking about that 18 seconds, and it just things lined up. Everything was tragic, but things lined up to make it turn out the way it turned out, in some ways for the better.
Yeah. I'll say this. God had his hand in this from the beginning. From the point that I woke up, even Macklemore said he got to the firehouse early. Guy Sonny Gilcrease showed up in dispatch early, and he walked in, saw what's going on, and he went straight to our Channel 1, which is the fire channel, and he was typing while Kristen McKinney, all she did was talk. She was talking, he was typing. Just people were in the right place at the right time. I mean, even getting there, being delayed with Corbin, slightly delayed, taking her time going down the road. The train has already gone through. People in the right place at the right time. It's
Not taking your seatbelt off.
Yeah, not taking my seatbelt off. All of us had our seatbelt on.
And, you said something before we sit down and record about you go out and you talk to the rookie classes and the academies now, and you hammer home the point of wearing seatbelt.
Yes. So I work at I haven't worked in almost a year. Yeah, probably over a year actually, at College Fire Academy. I work up there part-time, and I ended up having a full-time, part-time job because I was over logistics and fleet along with some teaching. But I'll go up there and talk to the rookies classes or the driver-operator class. Like, hey, guys, number one, wear your seatbelt. I mean, let alone it's a state law, but pretty sure it's a department policy. If it's not, that's kind of odd that you wear your seatbelt. And if you don't and something happens, you never know when that time's going to come. And it came to me, and we all had our seatbelt on, and if we would have lived, we'd probably been paying out of our own pocket. I mean, I don't think workman's comp's going to, you didn't follow your own rules or the state law, and you got in a wreck, why should we pay? It's on you now. So we'll cover so much, but you either pay us back or you start paying your bills. So
And save your life.
And save your life. I could imagine if I would have died, what Courtney be going through trying to get money from whatever.
Speaking of Courtney, so you go to you're transferred to the hospital. How long was your stay there?
I was in the ICU for 7 days, and then I went to a step-down trauma floor.
And Courtney, once she finally got there, what do you remember of that?
I don't remember her really getting there, or her sister. So her sister lives just in Uptown, not far. I mean, it was in our first alarm district, and she's real close to a hospital. But so they got hold of my driver, Justin, who, if I get the story right, because obviously I don't know much of this, just talking. My captain was calling, trying to get hold of him, but he wasn't answering, and they're on vacation. So he called his wife, Nicole. He said, get Justin on the phone. Tell him to answer his phone. So he wakes him up and calls, because they wouldn't tell her exactly what's going on, but got hold of Justin, and then he got the phone call from one of the guys that was there or not there, or one of the B shift guys. And so he calls Courtney. And at 6 in the morning or 6 whatever time, I'm not sure. And so he calls her, and she's like, why is my phone ringing this early? And then it was, why is Justin calling me? I better answer this. Something's wrong. Because she knew they were on vacation. Our wives are great friends. And he and I are great friends too. But so she answers, leads off with, He's alive, and he said he's been in a bad accident. And then she said, "Is he talking?" And what I understand is she's like, "Yeah, he's talking. Does he know who's around him? Does he know people?" And they're like, "Yes." She's like, "Okay." And they told him I was at Baylor, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna head that way." So she grabbed Haley, loaded her up, and off they came. And then at some point in time, she called her sister Kara, and took Kara, came in, and then eventually Courtney got there. She's like, "Where do I park?" They're like, "Just pull up to the ER bay." And so she gets there, and the chaplain meets her with her sister outside, and she's like, "What happened in 30 minutes? Why is the chaplain here?" Because she never knew that the chaplain would meet her and stuff like that. And she's like, "Okay, what's going on?" And then she came in and saw me all banged up, bruised up, bandaged up.
You're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive. And and then she had the joy of getting a hold of my kids, and then my dad. So it was. It's funny. She says, I expected your daughter to answer first, Jessica, but Justin answered the phone. I figured I'd be calling him for a few hours. So she gets hold of Justin, tells him, and then finally gets hold of my daughter, Jessica, who's in South Carolina. My son lives in Prosper with his mom. And then eventually she gets hold of my dad and tells him what's going on. So, but come to find out, word of this accident spread across the country fast.
Oh, it was major news.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a fire truck falling that far in Dallas, which is a major city.
Yeah, so
it's a big deal.
They made it down South Texas pretty quick. I know the chief there in San Marcos, and then one of my freshman year college roommate, he's a chief in D.C., and I have a cousin there. They both found out pretty quick, too, and I think it's also the D.C. ties with my dad. But word traveled fast. I mean, I ran into a Plano fireman one day, and he says, yeah, I was in San Diego that morning, and they said, did you hear about this? And it was like 7, 8 o'clock their time, and so a few hours behind us, but word traveled fast. And so Courtney got down to the hospital, and there I was getting more tests and whatever they were doing to me. I don't know.
Why do you find this difficult to talk about, out of all things?
It's the fact of, why am I here? Honestly, I struggle sometimes with, I don't want to say survivor's guilt, because we know, hey, why am I here, not this guy kind of thing. Right. You see that more in the military, but it's, why did I live? That's a struggle. Why was I spared when I shouldn't? I mean, even when you look at the injuries I had grade 4 tear of a right vertebral artery. I have injuries at the C3, C4 level, and the C4 nerve root runs in your shoulder area, your back, but also kind of affects your heart. So, and now I'm running on 2 arteries in my brain. So I've noticed some things with that, why the back of my brain, I mean, my vision kind of went off a little bit. So, wear glasses more now than I used to. And so, yeah, I struggle with why am I still here?
You're supposed to still be here.
God's got a plan for me.
Obviously, right? There's something you're supposed to be here for.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Take solace in that.
Oh yeah. So
it's a gift. Mm-hmm. It's a gift and a new lease. Yeah, it really is.
So we joke around of I'm on life 5 now.
Yeah.
So
forward to go.
I know this accident, had my stroke, had a fire one Christmas Day when we're coming back and trying to back out, and we had to shuffle around. The guy I was with, he said, because this is our second fire that morning or that afternoon. First run, I was subbing for my old captain in Oak Cliff, and go to one fire, leave there, and clear up from that one and go catch another one. And fire's in the front of the house, and chief said, hey, who became my battalion chief eventually, hey, take your guys around back and try to cut it off. Make sure it doesn't get in the attic. So couldn't pull ceiling in this room, move up, couldn't pull ceiling. Finally got ceiling pulled in the kitchen. Well, to get in the kitchen, we had to go up over a couch. And then we got in the kitchen, pulled ceiling, all of a sudden this black smoke starts dumping out. And we're starting to run low on air. Like, okay, hey guys, let's head out. Like, hey Buck, you lead us out. And Buck's like, no, you lead us out. So we're in the kitchen and we shuffled around. And now I start up over the couch, and that whole room lights up. Come to find out that the ceiling collapsed. And so I'm sitting there on the radio calling, hey, we're cut off. We can't get out that way. We're in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I see them starting to go beeline for a window. Well, when we first got there, guy Jake says, hey, you want me to pull those burglar bars? Yeah, pull those burglar bars. That's the window we went out. Up and over the hover around, out the window. We're all just bailing out. I had 2 breaths left on my air pack.
Well, like Kent said, you got 4 more to go. And, you go home and, reading through your bio, and you mentioned you had to have a hard conversation with Courtney.
Yeah, so after being in the hospital, get home, and I got the collar on my neck, got a walker, and it was, I don't know, a week or so after being home, it was, because I couldn't do anything. I went from, hey, I can do everything. I cook, I clean, I do whatever. I mean, no issues, to here I am just sitting around. And that really starts to get to you. And you realize that I'm a burden to her and everybody. And eventually I had to sit and talk with her. I had to get it out, because the one thing I've learned is you keep things in your relationship, it's going to blow up later. So I forget. We're sitting. Had to be. I would like to think it was the following weekend. I don't remember. But I said, I need to talk. I said, right now, I said, in this moment, I feel you would be better off if I would have died in that accident. I said, not long term, but right now in this moment, because you have to do everything for me. You have to wake up, help me take a shower, because I couldn't even shower by myself. I mean, I'd take one collar off, put the shower collar on, couldn't really raise my right arm, had to use a walker to get around. And so she had to take care of me, then take care of her daughter, who goes to daycare. I was like, you've been better off if I would have passed, and all you had to do is take care of Haley, get her to school, you go to work, come home, pick her up. Instead of you go to work, or we wake up, you take care of me, you take care of her, you take her to school, then you go to work, then you come home early, pick her up, take care of me, and that kind of stuff. Because I really felt like I was a burden on her. And so that was a real hard conversation I had to have with her, as more for my mental state and for us as a couple, as a family. Because if you don't address those things,
it festers.
It'll grow, and it'll come out later on in a negative way.
What was her response to that?
She was, I mean, conversation, we're both in tears. But she's like, no. I said, in this moment, that's how I feel. I know it's not long term, but she wasn't disagreeing with me. No, it's going to be fine. I down the road, yes, but in this moment, this is how I feel, and I got to get that out.
LT, we just kind of went through your whole life. We got through July 21st last year, and here we are in August of 2025. So you just recently retired July 25th, just less than a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, about a week and a half ago.
At what point did you know that was going to happen and made that decision?
My initial plan, if you want to call it, I wanted to come back, at least for, not just a shift. I mean, just to climb on the rig one last time, put your gear on one last time, even if it was put my stuff on. Hey, now let's go out of service, and I'm going home sick. That was my end goal. And through all this, I mean, going through the process, still seeing doctors, still hadn't been cleared to even do part-time work. They just have me off right now. But it was about 9 months after the accident. I say this not jokingly, but TBI stuff started showing its ugly head. And I probably had signs and symptoms earlier on, just didn't think of it. Just, it's probably the medicine or whatever. And even to this day, the doctor I'm seeing, is it I'm getting old? Is it lack of blood flow to the brain? Is it medicine I'm on? Or do I actually have something going on? So I had a lot of prayers, counsel, and conversations. So I see a Jedi in my counselor. I call him a Jedi because he does some mind tricks that you're just talking to him, and he's like, and he'll give you some advice or something. You don't even realize it's just in conversation until you leave. You're like, that's sorry, sucker.
Yeah.
He got me again. He gave me homework, and he's not one of those, hey, go home and do this. He's we just talk and have a conversation. And we started the conversation, and after the third month, because I go about once a month now, because he reached out to me. He said, I broke all counselor code when I heard about your accident, and I reached out to you. And he's like, okay, let's get you in. We're going to talk. And so it was about 3 months of us starting to talk, retire or not, what do we got? And the third month, he finally looked at it. We kind of already decided. I mean, but he said, if you go back, you're going back for selfish reasons. Because I was like, ooh, that one hit home hard. And but I've realized I was starting to miss words, combine words or things. And I was like, that's when I was like, something's going on up top. And the hard decision was, and it goes back to the guys. I can't put them in this situation because of me. I haven't, I've had some wives reach out to me and say, I always do. I got my husband was going to be good because he was with you. And when things were working right in the head, I knew it was time. But yeah, it's not an easy decision, but it's the right decision. And a lot of times I say, do the hard right, not the easy wrong. And this is one of them. But so I called my driver, Justin, and said, hey, let's do lunch. Broke the news to him. Then a couple weeks later, I called Cap, told him. But went to the station. It was my 25-year anniversary. And brought him steaks. And one of the guys, Brian, he was like, is this going to be like a Last Supper? And I was like, and because it was Easter weekend, because it was Thursday of Easter weekend. I said, hold on, isn't that tomorrow? Just kind of playing it off. He's like, no, it's today because tomorrow's the crucifixion. Oh, okay. And made steaks, and we all sat down. And finally, I was like, hey, guys, yeah, I guess kind of playing off Brian. It is a kind of a Last Supper, but not. But I'm going to be retiring. It was a tough decision, but I think it's the right decision. I mean, we looked at multiple aspects, but I mean, taking care of the guys and the crew, I don't want to put them in a situation for my selfishness. Hey, I can't say the right thing, or something's not coming out right, or I don't want to put my family back through this. Hey, is everything gonna be okay again? And next thing you know, they're getting a phone call some other night, or I mean, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. So it was a tough decision, but I believe it's the right one, and I don't feel like I'm retired yet because I'm still doing the same thing I was a year ago. More doctor's appointments and more doctor's appointments.
And now you're on a show.
Yeah, and now I'm here.
Well, we actually got some letters from some of the people you worked with.
And some people you didn't work with, but we'll start with this one. It says, Dear Black Cloud, from your early days as an Army Ranger to following your dad's footsteps joining the Brotherhood, your journey has been nothing short of inspiring. You've faced countless challenges, including enough near misses to qualify you as a cat with only several lives left. In fact, I've heard that your guardian angel put in for hazard pay, and through it all, you've come out stronger. You've made an impact on everyone around you. I've always enjoyed seeing the commitment you put into mentoring the rookies. We've had so many conversations about preserving the fire culture, and I know you're still carrying on with that concern as you continue to mentor students out at the college. I've seen how you care about empowering those around you, and I've seen how you develop rookies into capable firefighters. The fire service, especially in Dallas, is better because of your contributions. When we talk about Johnny Hampton, we're talking about someone who puts others first, someone who cares, and someone who is dedicated to his family, friends, and profession. I've always admired that about you. What I did not admire about you was the sleepless nights and unbelievably shitty shifts you brought to us on Truck 11. Your uncanny ability to bring a shitstorm over to the truck every single time you rode was incredible, hence the name Black Cloud. Yeah, I took it personally because you knew you were going to mess up my perfectly good day when you threw your helmet up on the dash and laughed at me with that shit-eating grin. You didn't have to say a word. We both knew we were in for another shift from hell. Well, John, I've always enjoyed your warped sense of humor and the fun times we shared on and off the job. It was great to have a brother there working beside me who I trusted, respected, and loved. From one retired guy to another, congratulations on a job well done and a retirement well deserved. That's Park Mains.
I figured that was Park.
We got a few more.
Congratulations on your retirement, Lieutenant Hampton. While I didn't have the chance to work closely with you, your reputation and the respect you've earned speak volumes. Thank you for 25 years of dedicated service, sacrifice, and leadership. You left a mark far beyond calls, runs, or years served. Your impact is measured in the lives you've influenced and the standard you set. Those fortunate enough to serve alongside you didn't just become better firefighters, they became better people. Wishing you all the best in your next chapter. You've more than earned it. Casey Ellsworth.
As a young man, getting onto the Dallas Fire Department was nerve-wracking. I wanted to be solid, squared away, a true asset to whatever crew I was placed with coming out of rookie school. So day one, I walked into 11s with nervous anticipation, only to be met by Lieutenant John Hampton, a man of steel, locked in but approachable. I could tell he meant business, but he carried himself in a way that drew everyone around him in. He was eager to teach, eager to share any wisdom he had, eager to help. I quickly learned he was going to be an officer that wouldn't ask me to do anything that he wasn't going to do himself. Right alongside me, he is someone you want to make proud, someone you don't want to let down, not because he demands it of you, but because he deserves it. He deserves your best efforts. He deserves your 110%. Why? Because that is what he is going to give you. Each and every day, I had an honor and privilege of getting to work my first shift ever on the Dallas Fire Department under Lieutenant John Hampton's leadership. Then I was fortunate enough to get to work for him for another 4+ years. Later, I transferred and was lucky enough to get promoted a few times to only get sent right back to where it all started, Station 11. Now, as a lieutenant myself, I had the honor of getting to be relieved each shift morning by Lieutenant Hampton. Although I have a different title now and a little more time on than when I first walked in the back door of the 11s, nothing has changed. I still seek out this man each morning for advice and wisdom on certain scenarios, calls we had, and how he would run them. What he thought about this technique or this hose lay. I hold Lieutenant Hampton in the highest regard, not only as a shift coming out of rookie school, and that I was blessed with the opportunity to get to work under his leadership. Lieutenant Hampton, you mean more to me than you will ever know. Love ya, sucker. You will always be Lieutenant Hampton to me, Kalachi.
No, listener, I did not change my voice. That is Sasha Kim sitting in to help us with these letters. Sasha, can you give this next one?
Yes. Lieutenant Hampton is a man of few words. When you see him smile, it makes you smile. Maybe the best way to describe him is words require interpretation, deeds do not. In the New Testament, Paul told Titus, by our action, how we live and what we do, we can adorn the doctrine of Christ. Visible acts of faith. The most I have ever heard Lieutenant speak was when I received by text from him his testimony at his Church of God's work in his life on the day of the accident and since. Lieutenant Johnny knows his life experience, good and bad, can be used to help others. I expect he will be one of the first firefighters there, active or retired, to help should a Dallas fire be injured. Congratulations, Lieutenant Hampton, on your retirement. Your coming years will be filled with walking with God in service and ministry to your family and others. Elaine Maddox.
Our paths crossed at Station 11 in 2011. Coincidentally, this was the same time the labels disappeared from my canned goods while I was preparing meals for the day. Strange, I would say. That one got me. We quickly became friends during that time. We would often discuss work, family, and various other things. The one thing that was always present was your love for family. You ended up being promoted to the rank of lieutenant a few years later. That's where you truly shined. You exhibited true leadership. Qualities like integrity, adaptability, humility, accountability, self-awareness, and the ability to motivate and inspire others was always a constant. Your calculating and decisive decision-making made it easy for others to follow you. You were always poised and calm during the most critical incidents. You mentored countless new firefighters throughout your career, leaving an indelible impression on every one of them. But resilience, yes, resilience stood out the most to me. John, you conquered whatever came your way. We all knew it. We dubbed it Hampstrong. John, we're all better for knowing you. Because of you, we strive to be better firefighters, better officers, and better humans. Job well done, brother. Your friend, Lieutenant Ladd Smith.
You've mentioned that name.
Yeah. He's a good mentor.
We'll see if you get this one. Hamp, what is there to say? Thought he could fly, but found out gravity still works. This guy is a no-nonsense, tough as nails man's man. Since I met you, I gravitated to your style. You have made an impact on me and many others. You mentored guys by telling experiences good and bad. Therefore, you're leaving it better than you found it. Hamp, love you, brother. Johnny Sanchez.
Dear Johnny, I don't even know where to begin other than to say I'm so incredibly proud to be your wife. A fire wife. I vividly remember when we first started dating and you asked me if I could handle being with a fireman, and I said, I don't know, never dated one, so I guess we will find out. And what does that even mean? And boy, did I find out. The good, the bad, and the ugly, as we said in our wedding vows, for better or for worse. While I wasn't around at the beginning of your 25-year career with the Dallas Fire Department, I'm sure glad I got to experience the last 8 of them with you. My favorite part of watching you serve as a fireman is that you challenge so many others to be better versions of themselves, to constantly learn, teach, and to do the hard things right. You often say, I've been your rock this past year after the engine accident, but really it is the other way around, and you've been my rock. I truly cannot thank God enough for sending his army of angels that day, allowing us to have more time together, and for me to watch you step into this new role of retirement from Dallas Fire Rescue to see what God has in store for you next. Thank you for being a great husband, father, leader, and friend. I'm convinced you are made of steel, and there truly isn't anything you can't do. Well, except for no more jumping from airplanes or helicopters or trying to fly off bridges. The Dallas Fire Department was extremely lucky to have you on their team. Retirement isn't goodbye forever, as the brotherhood and all the friends and family that you, actually we, have gained will continue with us into the next phase of life. I love you with all my heart. Courtney.
How bad you hate me, right?
I don't hate you. It was good to read. I'm glad y'all read those. Didn't expect it.
I wasn't going to have you read them.
No. I don't know if I could. But,
why do you think I dragged Sasha in here? You think I could read those? You and I just met, but I have a hard time watching other people. And Kent knows this.
He also has a hard time reading.
I do. I can't read. Yeah.
I don't.
You notice I picked the shortest one from Sanchez.
I can't read either. So no, that's awesome that y'all did that. I appreciate it. And yeah, initially I hate you, but no, I love you too.
Well, we thought it was a perfect little send off.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, I was going to say about Ladd, it wasn't all me. I just came in to help. So he's the can man. Not many people can cook two complete meals out of all cans.
The can man.
Yeah. I do want to give you an opportunity before I ask the final question you better give some shout outs to your family, and then we'll get to that.
Haley, you'll understand this later, but you've seen a lot of changes and adjusted. Even me coming home, wondering what's going on. Coming in home in a walker and a collar, then that goes away. Oh, and now you're on braces, as you would call it, my crutches with the leg brace, and then after my neck surgery, she looked at me funny again because I was back in a collar, and even that night when I was in the hospital, I called her and got a phone, and she was crying and wanted to call right back, but the times that she would like, Daddy, let's go, she'd grab me to the walker or my crutches and take them, and here I am trying to walk down the neighborhood with my walker before I got on crutches or off of everything, and she'd take the walker and take off with me and leave me in the stroller without anybody in it. So I started walking with the stroller. Like, can you come back? I need that thing. But she's been through the changes. She's been solid, and I gotta give a shout out to her daycare, TLC, up off of Hitchcock's in Plano. After we got home, or maybe I was still in the hospital, every student in that school had a get well something. It was a card, or the young ones, they just scribbled color on a deal and put it in a 3-ring binder for me, and that really hit home. And when I got out, I made sure I went by to see them, because not too often, well, you'll find a place that you're happy with for your kids to go to school, but they're also supportive of you in the hard times. To Jessica, just keep doing what you're doing. Glad you came back. Or whoever flew you back, thank you. You're solid and loving, and definitely there for me, even if you're in South Carolina. We'll keep our game going if that snaps every day. And Justin, thanks for being there, staying at the hospital with me. Actually, both of them stayed at the hospital with me multiple times. But continue your journey. Fire services is where you be. You'll end up where you're supposed to be. Have a great career. This is the best career ever. And you're just at the beginning of it. If this is the journey that you want to be on, to all three of them, it's just been a challenge where y'all have individually done your own thing and bared with me and with the challenges. And to Courtney, I've said she's been my rock, and that was a impressive letter. I do remember that conversation early on of, can you handle being with a fireman? And she's proved it, definitely. So the long nights, getting the mandatory Christmas Eve, and just that's the way it is. And being there through this, I didn't expect this to go the way it did, but I always said we try to make it 27 years, but after Jessica finishes school, we'd be day to day. Well, she finished school, and day to day ended up being retirement a little early. So, but I love you, Courtney. I love all four of you. Courtney came on, like she said, late in the game, but she got the hardest part of the game. Might also be the most fun, being around the guys when I wasn't a paramedic too.
You noted a quote that stood out. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Can you tell the listener what this quote means to you, and any advice for any other professionals in this first responder profession that's out there struggling with injuries and they go on their last call?
So the quote comes from my high school wrestling coach, Joe Thomas. He had it up on the wall in the wrestling room, and then might even been my senior year, we put it on our T-shirts of "Tough times don't last, tough people do." Because when you're wrestling, things get really miserable, especially if you're losing weight, and that's sometimes you don't want to be around guys when they're losing that much weight. But they don't last. I mean, you can go back to the saying the Navy SEALs, the only easy day was yesterday. And, yeah, I didn't expect this to be my last call. Granted, my retirement party, they put me in the engine, and I got en route one last time, and they drove me around the block and backed me in. Had my driver, Justin, there, and he drove me, and my family was in the back with the cap, who we spent 13-plus years together, somewhere around there, between South Dallas and South Station 11. But I mean, coming to tough times. I mean, this is definitely one of those tougher times in life, and you just gotta not let the bad thoughts creep in and win. I mean, you got to be stronger than that. I mean, yeah, they'll creep in, and like I said, I get the survivor's guilt sometimes, and some days I just, sorry to say this, Courtney, but there's been times I'm like, why am I here? I'd be better off without it. But you gotta look past yourself. Resiliency and all that stuff. I mean, you gotta keep moving forward. I mean, the tough times won't last. It takes a tough person to get through those tough times. It's not always, life isn't always easy. It's not going to be easy, and you got to toughen up and not callous yourself, really. But it even comes down to, hey, sometimes the hardest part of I'm going through a tough time is finding somebody to talk to. That shows how tough you are. I'm gonna go talk to somebody. I'm struggling with this, and I don't want to go down this road of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, or suicide. It takes a tougher person to say, I got a problem. Let me go get some counsel. Let me go make a phone call, whatever I got to do to get me out of whatever this tough situation is. Yeah, tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far the sun and the moon, I'll never give up on you. Down when you're lonely, I'll pull you up. Life leaves you heavy when the going gets tough. I'll be your shoulder, together we'll run up from the bottom, yeah, we'll rise above. Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far the sun and the moon, I'll never give up on you. Sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far, for the gold and the blue, I'll never give up on you.